Sophia and Ryan had been together for almost 7 years. They met in college during a photography class where Ryan accidentally spilled coffee across Sophia's notebook. Instead of getting angry, she laughed while helping him clean the mess. That small moment became the beginning of everything. Years later, they were living together in a small apartment in Denver. Ryan worked as a graphic designer while Sophia managed events for luxury hotels. Their schedules were exhausting, but they always found comfort in each other. Ryan loved how Sophia danced around the kitchen while cooking late at night, and Sophia admired Ryan's calmness during difficult moments. To everyone around them, they looked perfect. But relationships rarely fall apart suddenly. Sometimes they slowly crack in silence. Over the last year, Ryan became increasingly distant because of work pressure and financial stress. Meanwhile, Sophia spent more time traveling for corporate events. Their conversations became shorter. Their smiles became tired. Still, they loved each other deeply. At least Sophia believed they did. Then came the weekend that changed everything. Sophia had been asked to supervise a luxury company retreat at a mountain resort 2 hours away from a city. Ryan was supposed to join her after finishing an important client project Friday night. But late Friday evening, Ryan suddenly stopped replying to her messages. At first Sophia assumed he was busy. But hours later, she received a strange text from an unknown number. "He's not where you think he is." Attached was a blurry photo of Ryan sitting beside another woman inside a bar. Sophia felt her chest tighten painfully. The woman had her hand resting on Ryan's arm. Sophia tried calling Ryan repeatedly, but his phone remained off all night. Heartbroken and confused, she spent the entire weekend alone at the resort pretending everything was fine while secretly falling apart inside. Then Sunday evening, Ryan finally returned home. But before Sophia could confront him, Ryan threw his phone onto the table angrily. "Who were you with this weekend?" he demanded coldly. Sophia stared at him in complete shock. Because somehow, Ryan believed she had betrayed him first. The apartment felt unbearably tense as Ryan stood across from Sophia with anger burning in his eyes. "What are you talking about?" Sophia whispered. Ryan laughed bitterly before unlocking his phone and showing her several photos. Sophia's stomach dropped instantly. The pictures showed her entering the resort late Friday night beside a man wearing a black jacket. Another image showed the same man touching her shoulder outside the hotel lobby. "I trusted you," Ryan said quietly, his voice shaking with pain. "And everyone warned me this would happen eventually." Sophia stared at the photos in disbelief. The man in the pictures was Daniel, one of the hotel managers working the event. The photos looked intimate from certain angles, but the reality was innocent. Daniel had simply walked her inside during heavy rain after helping carry equipment from her car. But before Sophia could explain, she remembered the picture she had received of Ryan at the bar. "You think I cheated?" she asked emotionally. "I got photos of you with another woman." Ryan's expression changed instantly. "What woman?" Sophia grabbed her phone and showed him the image. Now it was Ryan's turn to look stunned. "That's my cousin Emma," he replied immediately. "She flew into town unexpectedly Friday night because her husband was arrested." Sophia froze. For several seconds, neither of them spoke. Someone had deliberately manipulated both of them. The realization created even more fear instead of relief. Who would do something like this? Over the following days, suspicion slowly poisoned their relationship. Both tried explaining themselves, but the damage had already begun. Ryan became distant again. Sophia started questioning everything. Every late reply, every missed call, every unfamiliar name suddenly felt suspicious. One evening, Sophia discovered that the unknown number sending the photos had also emailed Ryan anonymously weeks earlier, claiming Sophia was secretly meeting another man during work trips. Someone had been planning this carefully, and whoever it was wanted their relationship destroyed. As weeks passed, the emotional distance between Sophia and Ryan became impossible to ignore. They still lived together, but their apartment no longer felt like home. Conversations turned cold and cautious. Small misunderstandings quickly became arguments. The trust they once shared so naturally now felt fragile. Sophia often cried silently in the bathroom so Ryan wouldn't hear her. Meanwhile, Ryan buried himself in work, pretending anger hurt less than heartbreak. One night, Sophia finally asked the question neither of them wanted to face. "Do you still believe I cheated?" Ryan stayed silent too long before answering. "I don't know what to believe anymore." His words shattered her. Meanwhile, the anonymous messages continued. Sometimes they were subtle. "He's lying to you. You don't know the full story." Other times they were cruel. "She never loved you. He's already planning to leave." The constant manipulation slowly destroyed both of them emotionally. Then one evening, Sophia noticed something strange while reviewing old emails from work. One anonymous message accidentally included a company signature at the bottom before it was deleted. The sender worked at Ryan's design firm. Shocked, Sophia secretly investigated further and eventually uncovered the truth. The person behind everything was Ryan's coworker, Vanessa. Years earlier, Vanessa had briefly dated Ryan before he met Sophia. Although Ryan ended the relationship respectfully, Vanessa never fully moved on. Over time, her jealousy quietly became obsession. She monitored Sophia's social media, tracked Ryan's work schedule, and manipulated situations to create misunderstandings between them. When Sophia showed Ryan the evidence, he looked physically sick. "I swear I never knew," he whispered. But by then, the emotional damage already felt irreversible. Sophia no longer feared another woman. She feared the version of themselves they had become, suspicious, exhausted, emotionally broken. And for the first time in years, she wondered whether love alone was enough to survive this kind of damage. A week later, Sophia packed a suitcase quietly while Ryan sat at the kitchen table watching her with tears in his eyes. "I think we need space," she said softly. Ryan nodded slowly, unable to argue. Because deep down, he knew the real problem wasn't Vanessa anymore. It was the fear they allowed to grow between them. Sophia moved into her sister's apartment temporarily, while Ryan began therapy to deal with the anxiety and trust issues the situation created. For months, they barely spoke outside occasional texts checking on each other. At first, the silence felt unbearable. But slowly, distance gave both of them clarity. Sophia realized how deeply insecurity had affected her long before the anonymous messages appeared. Ryan realized he often avoided emotional conversations instead of confronting problems honestly. Neither of them had cheated. Yet both had emotionally abandoned each other during the chaos. 6 months later, Ryan asked Sophia to meet him at the same coffee shop where they first met years ago. When Sophia arrived, Ryan looked nervous in a way she hadn't seen in a long time. "I spent months blaming everyone else," he admitted quietly. "Vanessa manipulated us, but fear only worked because we stopped communicating." Sophia felt tears fill her eyes. Ryan continued softly, "I don't want a perfect relationship anymore. I just want an honest one." For the first time in months, Sophia smiled genuinely. Healing wasn't immediate. Trust didn't magically return overnight. But slowly, they rebuilt what fear nearly destroyed. Years later, Sophia would still remember that terrible weekend. At the time, it felt like proof their love was ending. Instead, it exposed every weakness they had ignored for years, and forced them to finally grow together instead of apart. Sometimes betrayal isn't what destroys relationships. Silence does.